You have always known you were different, haven't you? The pull, the restlessness, the constant search for meaning. That's because you were never meant to stay hidden. The world is shifting, and the darkness that once stifled your brilliance is fading. You are no longer just surviving, you are thriving, rising into your power. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Your light can no longer be denied. The chains that once held you down have disintegrated, haven't they? What you once accepted as the rules of life were nothing more than illusions designed to keep you small, to quiet your voice. Now, the walls that confined you crumble like dust, and there's no going back. You no longer need to ask for permission to shine. You're the blueprint, the one who creates the standards others will follow. Gone are the days when you had to hide your brilliance, dim your light to make others comfortable. The masks people wear to conform are falling apart, and there's nothing left to hide behind. You are no longer playing a part in their tired script. The role of the obedient follower doesn't suit you, never did. Instead, your authenticity blazes forth like wildfire, spreading through the landscape of a world desperate for truth. The universe is not asking you to change, it's demanding that you step fully into who you've always been. Your voice shakes the ground, your presence shifts the air. You're not bending to old systems of control, you're shattering them. As you walk through this world, you leave ripples that turn into waves, crashing into the stagnant structures that kept humanity asleep. People can no longer pretend they don't see what's happening. Your existence forces them to acknowledge the change, even if they resist. And resist they will, because authenticity terrifies those who are still clinging to their masks. But you're not afraid. You've known all along that this was your purpose, to dismantle the false and build the real. This is the era of truth, and you are its brightest flame. Nothing can contain you now. You, the one who was once cast aside, ridiculed and misunderstood, now they follow you, even if they don't yet realize it. Your presence is undeniable, a force that can no longer be ignored. The systems that tried to control you have failed. The very ones who sought to diminish your power now stand in the shadow of your influence, silently observing as you move forward without asking for their approval. Their attempts to suppress your light have only made it stronger, more blinding and impossible to extinguish. You're not waiting for validation, and you're certainly not asking for permission. You lead because it's who you are, not because someone granted you authority. The people who once scoffed at your uniqueness now scramble to keep up with the path you carve effortlessly. Their old ways of manipulation and control have crumbled at your feet, and now they come to you, humbled, seeking the very truth they once mocked. You don't need to speak to remind them of their failures. Your mere existence does that. Those who once wounded you are haunted by the weight of their choices. The same individuals who tried to silence you now approach you with trembling hands, seeking forgiveness for what they did when they thought you were weak. But you never were. You have always been the storm they feared, the unstoppable force breaking through the barriers they built. Now, as you walk without hesitation, they're left to face their own shadows, while you rise beyond them, untouchable. You don't look back because your future is where your power lies. You've become what they could never contain, and now they know it. They tried to bury you, didn't they? Tried to suppress your brilliance, convinced that if they dimmed your light, they could control you. But they failed. You were never meant to stay hidden, and now as you stand in the fullness of your power, your light is unstoppable. It blazes through every shadow, casting away the darkness that once surrounded you. The very attempts to stifle you have only fueled your strength, and now they have no choice but to witness what they cannot contain. The distance you've created from those who sought to limit you has only made you more radiant. You no longer carry the weight of their judgments, and with every step you take away from their control, your clarity sharpens. The fog of confusion they wove around you has lifted, revealing the lies they spun to keep you in doubt. Now you see everything clearly, their manipulations, their fear, their need to keep you small. But you're not small. You never were. Your light is a force that cannot be dimmed, and as you rise higher, it grows in intensity. It pierces through the illusions they crafted, burning away the falsehoods that once blinded you. You are no longer a prisoner to their games, and the clarity that fills you now is like lightning, illuminating everything in your path. They wanted to control your magic, but now they tremble in the wake of its power. You see through them, through every veil they try to pull over your eyes, and you stand untouched, a beacon of truth in a world that has long needed it. Your light, your power, it's undeniable, and now the world must reckon with it. The veil has been ripped away. Those who wronged you, who thought they could bury their deceit, now stand naked in the blinding light of truth. They once thrived in darkness, hiding behind lies, manipulating the world to keep you in the shadows. But now there is nowhere for them to hide. Your light, once a shelter for them to evade consequence, has turned into the very force that exposes them. The illusion they created is unraveling, thread by thread. Even those who stood by and enabled their actions can no longer turn a blind eye. The truth is too loud, too powerful, and it pierces through every defense they try to raise. They are being forced to confront what they ignored for so long, and the walls they built around their own lies are crumbling. The power they held over you, over the world, is disintegrating. It's no longer enough for them to cling to the shadows. They're being dragged into the light, their control slipping through their fingers like sand. The elite, those who once manipulated with silent precision from behind the scenes, are on the run. The systems they crafted to maintain their dominion are failing, and the very tools they wielded to oppress are now turning on them. Their empire of deceit is collapsing stone by stone, and there is no fortress strong enough to shield them from the reckoning they face. This era of truth shows no mercy. It sweeps through every hidden corner, revealing what was once obscured, leaving no one untouched. Those at the top who believed themselves untouchable now tremble as their secrets rise to the surface, unable to escape the power of what they tried so hard to bury. You have been scarred, haven't you? The pain you've carried, inflicted by those closest to you, is undeniable. Family, friends, and lovers, those who should have stood beside you, chose instead to wound you, to betray the power they could never comprehend. They mocked your divine purpose, tried to diminish you, because your light unsettled their darkness. But you were never meant to blend in with the ordinary. Your brilliance, your strength was always too much for them to handle, and so they tried to break you. They played games with your heart, not realizing that every strike only fueled the fire within you. Each betrayal, every time they tried to keep you small, only pushed you closer to your destiny. They thought they could contain you, but they were wrong. Their inability to see your purpose was their weakness, not yours. You have carried the weight of their rejection, but now you're letting it fall away like dead leaves in the wind. Their attempts to suppress your greatness have failed, and they see it now. Too late. Even in the midst of your deepest pain, you were never broken. Your strength was forged in that very fire. They didn't understand that the more they tried to bury you, the higher you would rise. You were never meant to stay hidden in their shadow. You were destined to eclipse them. Now, as you ascend, their confusion and regret only grow, because they can no longer deny what you are. Unbreakable, unstoppable, divinely chosen. The very pain they inflicted has become the fuel for your ascension. You are not merely rising, you are soaring beyond their reach, beyond their understanding. The walls they built around you, around society, are crumbling. Every lie, every illusion they spun to maintain control is falling apart. The old systems, the rules they crafted to keep you bound by race, status, and money, are rotting away before their eyes. They tried to convince you that power came through bloodlines, through wealth, through arbitrary hierarchies, but they were wrong. Those illusions no longer hold weight, and you see through them with clarity sharper than ever before. Now you rise, not by the metrics they've imposed, but by the force of your energy. This world no longer cares for the labels they cling to, the divisions they once upheld like iron bars. You transcend them. You ascend not through privilege, not through anything they can count or measure, but through the intensity of your vibration, through the sheer power of your inner light. You are moving beyond the material, beyond what they thought could keep you in place. And as you rise, the old structures collapse beneath you. They cannot stand in the face of this new reality. Those who cling to the old ways are scrambling. The systems that kept them in power are turning to dust in their hands. Money, bloodlines, status, none of it can keep them afloat now. The energy has shifted, and you are rising with it, higher and higher. They don't understand it, but they can't deny it either. They look to you now with fear and awe, because you are rising through the ranks of this new order, an order based not on what you have, but on what you are. The old rules have no power over you anymore. They never did. As you ascend, the shift in your energy is undeniable. Those around you feel it, a force they can't explain but are desperate to grasp. They try to cling to your energy, hoping to pull themselves up by your light, but they can no longer reach you. Your vibration is too high, too pure, for those still bound by the old ways of thinking. You have moved beyond their reach, and the gap between you grows wider with every breath you take. They stretch their hands toward you, but you are no longer walking the same path. They can only watch as you ascend into a new reality. You are not tethered to the timelines they inhabit. The structures that once connected you to them have dissolved. You have stepped into a space where the old rules, the old energies, no longer apply. They feel the pull of your rise, but they cannot come with you unless they face the truth they've long avoided. The illusions they cling to, the lies they tell themselves, are the chains that hold them back. And unless they confront them, they will remain in a world that no longer serves them. Your presence challenges them, forces them to confront what they've buried. But your rise is not their invitation to follow. You are not their savior. They must choose to face their shadows, to step into their own light, or they will remain where they are, stagnant. You are no longer bound by their choices, their timelines. You have entered a new reality, one where truth and energy are the currency, not fear and deception. They can feel it, but they can't follow you there. Not until they are ready to shed the illusions that weigh them down. The walls they built to contain you have become their own prison. Every lie, every manipulation they spun to keep you small, has turned back on them with brutal speed. The illusions they crafted, believing they could control the narrative, control you, have shattered. Now, they are standing in the ruins of the false realities they so carefully constructed, and the weight of their choices is crashing down like an avalanche, unstoppable and unforgiving. This is not slow karma. This is a fierce, condensed storm, a reckoning that can't be delayed. They thought they could escape the consequences of their actions, but the energy they put into the world has boomeranged with a force they never anticipated. They wanted to break you, to stifle your light, but instead their own darkness is devouring them. What they sowed in deceit, they are now reaping in chaos, and it's unfolding with a speed that leaves them scrambling. They can't stop it, they can't slow it down, and they certainly can't hide from it. The universe is correcting itself, and they are feeling the full impact of every move they made against you. The energy they sent out is returning to them tenfold, faster than they can react. They thought they were immune to the laws of cause and effect, but now they are witnessing the truth firsthand. The scales are balancing, and you are not the one left trembling. The reckoning has arrived, and the consequences they thought they could avoid are unfolding right before their eyes. It's too late for them now. Their karma is swift, unforgiving, and undeniable. The veil has been torn apart, and now nothing can obscure your true essence. The world sees you for who you truly are, an unstoppable force of light, a divine being, carrying a purpose that transcends anything they could have imagined. For too long you were wrapped in illusions, bound by the limits others imposed on you. But that era is over. You are no longer playing by their rules. You have transcended them, stepping into a reality where your power is undeniable. You are rising, not by the physical measures they cling to, but on a plane far beyond their reach. Your energy vibrates on a higher frequency, where the material world can no longer chain you. The forces that once tried to contain you now dissolve in the heat of your ascension. You are not bound by status, wealth, or any other construct of their reality. You have broken free from the gravity of their limitations, soaring into a space where only those who embrace their own truth can follow. As you rise, the world shifts around you. Those who once doubted you, who tried to keep you small, can feel the seismic change in your presence. They realize now that you were never meant to be contained within their narrow definitions of power. Their systems of control crumble beneath the weight of your truth. You are not just a part of this world, you are reshaping it, bending reality itself to match the frequency of your divine purpose. You are the embodiment of what it means to rise beyond the physical, beyond the illusions, and into a new existence where your true power cannot be denied. They see it now, and there is no going back. You are rising, and no force can stop it now. Every trial, every heartache, every obstacle that was thrown in your path was not meant to break you, but to carve out the space for the crown you are now receiving. You are being crowned not by human hands or empty titles, but by the universe itself, acknowledging your divine right. The struggles you faced were not meaningless. They were the fire that forged your strength, sharpening you for this moment of undeniable ascension. The world may have tried to keep you down, but even they can feel it now. Your energy reverberates through the very fabric of reality, commanding attention, shifting the ground beneath those who once overlooked you. You are stepping into your divine purpose, no longer bound by limitations others tried to impose. You are stepping into a power that was always yours, waiting for you to claim it. The crown on your head is not merely a symbol, it is the weight of everything you have overcome, the embodiment of your purpose realized. The world will look up to you, not out of fear or obligation, but because they see the truth that radiates from you. They will recognize that you are not just another figure in the background of life's chaos. You are a force, a leader, a beacon of light that cannot be ignored. Your rise has reshaped the very energy around you, and now they follow, eyes lifted, knowing you carry the key to what comes next. You were not broken by the storms you endured. You were shaped by them. And now, crowned for the new earth, you rise into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You are not alone, and you were never meant to walk this path in isolation. The time of feeling separated, of searching for connections in places where none existed, is over. The energy has shifted, and now your soul family, those who resonate with your light, your purpose, and your truth, are finding you. They were always there, woven into the fabric of your existence, waiting for the moment when the illusions of the old paradigm would finally fall away. That moment has come, and the reunion is undeniable. The old world, with its hollow connections and shallow bonds, has collapsed. No longer are you tied to relationships built on fear, obligation, or survival. Now, you walk in the light of your truth, and it attracts others who share your frequency. These are not mere acquaintances. These are the ones who have always known you, seen you for who you are at your core. You are meeting them again, but this time, it is without the masks society once demanded you wear. You see each other clearly now, soul to soul, beyond the illusions that once kept you apart. Together you are stronger. The energy you share with your spiritual family ignites something greater than yourself, creating a force that accelerates your purpose and amplifies your light. There is no struggle for understanding here. There is recognition, instant and deep, as though the parts of you that were once missing have now returned. The collective power of your reunited family is unstoppable, and as you move forward, you do so with a force that cannot be broken. This is not just a reunion, it is the merging of destinies, a coming together of souls who were always meant to rise together. The old world is crumbling, and with it the chains that once bound you to falsehoods and limitations. You are rising, unstoppable, into the new earth. Every step you take now is in the light of your truth, unshaken by the illusions of the past that sought to diminish you. Your brilliance cannot be ignored. You are seen fully for the divine being you always were, and now the world stands in awe as you claim your rightful place as a leader of this new era. The shadows that once tried to hold you down are powerless against the light you radiate. This is your time, and nothing can stand in your way. The world will recognize you, not for what you were forced to endure, but for how you rose, transcending it all. You are not just a survivor, you are a creator of a new reality, one built on truth, purpose, and an unshakable sense of who you are. Now, as the dawn of this new era brightens, share your story. Let others feel the power of your rise. Your truth is a beacon that will inspire those still trapped in the fading illusions. Speak, so others may find the courage to stand in their light as you have done. This is how we reshape the world, one truth at a time. It's time to be heard.